Konohamaru just realized something shocking about Boruto Uzumaki, but it's not what you think. In chapter 22 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, we see a moment, just one single panel, where Konohamaru locks eyes with Boruto. His expression is filled with disbelief, and he says, "You've," and then he says nothing else. Many fans believe this is the moment where he figured out that his memories, they were tampered with. But what if I told you that's completely wrong? What if Konohamaru isn't realizing that Boruto is Naruto's true son and that Kawaki is a fraud, but instead, what if it's something more dangerous, far more dangerous? That Boruto may secretly be working with the current Hokage, Shikamaru Nar himself, and that Konohamaru might realize that Shikamaru is a rat. This is a real turning point, and in today's newest Naruto Explained video, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the hidden clues that you might have missed that the story has been laying out there for you, including suspicious behavior and the growing conspiracy that might shatter everything that Konoha believes about its so-called traitor and its so-called Hokage. Which somewhere Madoka Ikkyo, the feudal lord, is saying that makes a lot of sense why Boruto was able to escape. So the first thing we have to look at here is the setup, which is basically going to be what we're going to refer to as being the suspicious look. So in chapter 22, Boruto arrives in time to save Konohamaru from Matsuri, and then as Jura's coming, one of the more terrifying threats in the timeline being Jura, Boruto tells Konohamaru to head for the outskirts of the Land of Wind, where the hidden Sand Village Shinobi were, where they were supposed to meet when they originally rendezvoused. Konohamaru is surprised. He simply stares at Boruto for a time, but it's not just surprise, it's also suspicion. That one look, it is drawn with intensity. It's not a reunion glance. That is a interrogation in a glance. Why? Because here's a very important detail about what Boruto just said. Konohamaru knows full well that Boruto should not know about this mission. Only Konoha Shinobi and hidden Sand Village Shinobi should know. Even if Boruto's in the area and Boruto just happens to know that all these people are here, he should not know the specifics of the mission itself, that they were meant to rendezvous at a specific point. He shouldn't know those exact coordinates, or that the Sand Village Shinobi were originally out there waiting for them. This isn't something that gets leaked. This isn't general intel. This is classified. It's only on a need-to-know basis. Kankuro knows, Team Gaara knows, Team 7 knows, Shikamaru knows. That's a very short list of people. You could always kind of argue maybe Boruto had some kind of way to monitor from the distance, but in terms of Konoha's intel, that's not something that they would associate with Boruto. Konohamaru, for as many L's as he's taken, he's not a fool. This isn't a kid anymore, a goofy looking kid. He's a veteran shinobi, a skilled veteran shinobi, who has grown increasingly skeptical of the political climate of the Hidden Leaf Village when you read in between the lines of what we've been getting in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex so far. So let's rewind the clock a little bit and look at some of these clues. We're going to rewind the clock back to chapter 4 of 2 Blue Vortex. Kawaki accuses Boruto of having a collaborator inside the Leaf Village. He basically is saying there's no way that Boruto could be surviving and coming into the Hidden Leaf Village for this long, knowing this much stuff, unless there's somebody helping him from the inside. That was not paranoia. That was foreshadowing when you sit down and look at where we're at right now. Shikamaru at the time was under the belief that Boruto was the traitor who killed Naruto. So when he tells Kawaki that there's no way that anyone could be helping Boruto, else he would know it, Kawaki would believe him at the time because, well, he is saying it with a tone in his voice where you don't necessarily question it. He truly believes what it is that he's saying. But since then, Shikamaru has learned the truth, and we know based off of the conversation Shikamaru had with Ino isn't buying what Boruto's saying. There's another loose thread there that is about to come untangled. Loose ends that Shikamaru has not shored up yet. Then when you fast forward to chapter 17, Konohamaru is standing face to face with Shikamaru. He is questioning how he got the classified intel about the newly awakened Shinju and all this different stuff. And Shikamaru gives him a cold look, and then he proceeds to pull rank. He's basically saying, as Hokage, I don't have to tell you everything. He literally tells him, I get to judge the authenticity of the information we get and the validity of it. It's my job to give the orders, and it's your job to follow them. And Shikamaru, as he's saying this, Konohamaru looks at him, he pauses, then he accepts it. Konohamaru does not argue, but his expression, it says everything in that moment. He is suspicious, but he's being the good soldier. He's falling in line. Those are 3 events, 3 suspicious moments. And now in chapter 22, Boruto knows something that only someone on the inside would know. That's where I do believe we're going to start seeing Konohamaru connect dots and go in the opposite direction I know a lot of you guys want to know. A lot of you guys want Konohamaru to be, oh, Boruto's really Naruto's child. He's like my play nephew. Let me go save him. We're not going to get there this quickly, in my opinion. And this goes even further when you look at the fact that you have the whole secret alliance theory that is out there. So look at it from this perspective. The idea is simple but incredibly bold. We know that Boruto and Shikamaru are working together secretly. That's part of the dramatic irony. We know it, but characters in the universe don't know. Shikamaru is too smart to think that Boruto's the enemy. Deep down, he knows about omnipotence because he's been told it. He's connected dots. He's actively fighting against it. But as he told Boruto, he can't be openly allied with Boruto because it just paints a bigger target on his back. And Madoka Ikkyo, the feudal lord of the land of fire, is like, this is one rogue ninja. You had him here. How in the world did he escape? This doesn't make sense. Suspicion is going to get further and further on Shikamaru. And even someone like Ada was able to look at the situation and tell Shikamaru, like, hey man, your seat's a little hot right now. Even the elders told Shikamaru this. This is all subtle foreshadowing. This is all something that has to go somewhere. Now, when you look at it, he is trying to support Boruto from the shadows. He's giving him classified info by working with Kashin Koji, who relays that information over to Boruto. Shikamaru is trying to cover his tracks in this way. He's denying intel access to anyone who might question him, including Konohamaru. Konohamaru, who once idolized Naruto and fought alongside Shikamaru for years, is now seeing cracks in that system. And now Boruto, a so-called traitor, he is slipping up because of one thing, his desperation to save Konohamaru, because Boruto has his memories of what happened before omnipotence. When Boruto sees Konohamaru, he still sees his master. He still refers to him as master. In the manga, in the Japanese translation, if I'm not mistaken, he still calls him Big Bro at times. This is one of those moments where you can see that Boruto is still latching on strongly to his life before omnipotence and trying to save someone who he cares about. Boruto forgot he wasn't supposed to know that intel because he knows Jura's coming and he knows that Jura will kill him, according to Kashin Koji. But Konohamaru, he didn't forget and he noticed. And that's the big thing about Shinobi. Shinobi are supposed to see past deception. That's what makes omnipotence such a good foil to the Shinobi world itself, because they can't see past the deception of their memories being altered. But with something like this, they're still able to see through the cracks of what Boruto's saying. He's giving information he should not know. That is seeing through deception in a different way when you reposition it. Now, in terms of why Konohamaru is a bigger key here, Konohamaru is not just some random side character anymore. He's uniquely positioned in this story. Here's why. He's one of the closest people to Naruto, but also Boruto and the current administration under Shikamaru. He trained Boruto. He served under Naruto. He idolized Naruto. He trained under Naruto. And he now reports directly to Shikamaru. Shikamaru, and not him, was the one who was chosen to succeed Naruto as Hokage. That is Konohamaru's dream. Konohamaru has a deep loyalty to the village. The idea of seeing the current Hokage betray the village like this, that might make for open tension. If not open, then an undercurrent that we don't see until it gets ready to boil up. But now, look at what Konohamaru's seeing. He's seeing contradictions up close. He's seeing breadcrumbs and putting the pieces together. He saw how Boruto escaped capture when it should have been impossible. He saw Shikamaru dodge transparency when he asked him for information. And now, Boruto reveals a detail only someone with Hokage level intel should know. Konohamaru, in my opinion, is realizing that these mathematics ain't adding up. It's like getting caught with 20 machine guns and only getting 7 months. If you know that reference, you know that reference. And here's where it gets even deeper. Konohamaru might be quietly switching sides. Not out of loyalty, but out of the truth itself. Konohamaru, there's a chance if he realizes that Boruto isn't the villain, but might be the one telling the truth, he might start working from the inside to help him if Shikamaru can phrase things in a different way. That could be a bridge to that. It could also be a bridge to Konohamaru saying, ooh wee, don't talk to me because you ate the cheese. It could be one of those things. It could be a situation where Konohamaru ultimately does get one over, but there should be tension building towards that moment. There's also the potential for foreshadowing for a future fallout. What happens if Konohamaru confronts Shikamaru? What happens if he outright asks him, are you helping Boruto? What if Ino is there in the room? Will Shikamaru admit it? Will Ino's face betray her? Or will Shikamaru play the long game? And when that happens, what will Kawaki think and do when he learns about this alliance? Because he wants to kill Boruto, and he's taken interest in the fact that someone is helping Boruto. He's already suspected Boruto had help. If he finds out the Hokage himself is aiding Boruto, he's going to think that Shikamaru lied to him from the start. This might trigger something deeper inside of Konoha. This is not something that would go quickly and quietly if it is not nipped in the bud. This subtle one-panel expression from Konohamaru may be the first domino in a massive reveal, just as when you look at the paneling back when you had Delta and Kawaki and Shikamaru. Right after Kawaki's like, how did Boruto know we were here? How did he teleport away this quickly? He shouldn't have sensed me coming. Kawaki's eyes were looking over towards Shikamaru. That was all foreshadowing. That's 100% paneling done intentionally by Ikimoto. Look at it. A growing internal rebellion? Maybe. A truth that even Amato couldn't predict? Maybe. It's in classic Naruto fashion. The ones fighting from the shadows, the ones living in deception, they might be the ones who are the true heroes themselves. Konohamaru's moment of shock in chapter 22, it wasn't about remembering Boruto as Naruto's son in that moment. It's about realizing that Boruto knew something he wasn't supposed to know, and now that Konohamaru has that information, what will he do with it? That means something else too. That there's a plan in motion, that there's a secret alliance, that Boruto's not alone, and Konohamaru just saw the first puzzle piece. But the question is, what will he do with the truth? What will he do when he puts all the pieces together? And how long will it be before Kawaki realizes that walls are beginning to close in on him? Because that was also foreshadowed, because Damon's saying, hey, you might have switched everybody's memories of you and Boruto, but this stuff about Boruto killed the Hokage, hey fam, you told that lie after Omnipotence. Omnipotence is not going to bail you out on that. We're seeing multiple plot threads intertwine while also setting up leverage points that can snap at any moment. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, clicking here on the left to check out the chapter review, click here up top to check out videos on my One Piece channel, or click here on the right to check out the new Fire Force video on my Anime Explained channel.